to the Making of Her, a Lead with Soul series that is celebrating women who are redefining leadership with heart and purpose. Today's guest is Dr. Laura Schwindt, a dentist turned mindset coach, and she's the co-founder of the Mentor podcast. She guides high achievers away from burnout into burnout recovery as well as well-being through soulful and science-rooted coaching as well as holistic wellness programs. Let's get started. Welcome, Laura. It is so amazing to see you. It just seems like forever since I've chatted with you. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thanks for having me, and thanks for all the wonderful things that you place out into the universe for us to really inspire us and lift us up. It's just heartwarming. I really love seeing you out there when I do.
Thank you. The feeling is entirely mutual. Diving in, you have described burnout as both your crucible as well as your catalyst. Tell us about that experience, especially those that are tuning in that may not know the depth of and the breadth of your work, and how that experience led you to embrace coaching as well as the holistic mentorship that you offer.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. And I really appreciate this question because if somebody would have said that to me when I was in the throes of burnout, I would have been like, why is this a catalyst? Why is this something good? But yet, I think that like anything in life, when we get to a point where our body kind of screams at us, it's time to listen. And there were definitely so many whispers ahead of that had I just tuned in and listened. And so I think that moment, that low moment where I knew something had to change. I had, my biggest advocate, my husband, telling me something had to change. That was the moment that I started to tune in again. And it had been so long since I tuned in. I didn't even know what that meant. So it was a beautiful gift because, gosh, I think that's where the magic is.
No, I completely understand and agree. As this podcast is a platform for women like you and I that have tasted success. We've been there, we've collected the degrees, gotten the badges, the accolades, the whatever it is that we thought we needed to be our definition of success, all the while ignoring that voice, right? All the while ignoring the signals our body was sending us. Until we realized, what is my purpose? I know there is more. And maybe that first act, as I called it, was not my dream. Or if it was, maybe I have evolved. So I think this is beautiful that, when you mention listening to those silent screams our body is throwing at us and actually honoring it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love what you say there about, the first act and the second act. And if we think about it, if we think about so much in life, I mean, books have chapters, movies have scenes, plays have, where they change set. So why doesn't our life allowed to evolve like that as well, right?
Yes. I mean, why can we not understand this while we're torturing ourselves? For the longest time, I felt like, oh my gosh, who will I be if I'm not a dentist? Like, that's all there is of me. Hello, not true. At the end of the day, though, as doctors, we're still scientists, as I call us, right? We are very science-based. How do you integrate science with soul, right? You are so deep into the mindfulness, into the mindset, into somatics, business coaching. How do you make all of that blend together?
It's fun because I think that there's so much at our fingertips now pointing to this and research pointing to this, that this woo-woo stuff, that stuff that we intuitively know is good, is beneficial, we can feel it, we can sense it. there is now science piling up about it. I know there's Herbert Benson. He has an institute at Harvard, and he does a ton of studies on the science of quiet moments and how that can impact your healing process. I mean, we know this. I just read a study about women with TMJ pain, and they did a study with half the group meditated for 8 weeks and half the group didn't. And the group that meditated for 8 weeks had less pain with their TMJ. And so it's just everywhere. And I'm obsessed with positive psychology, which is the study of the people that are thriving, the people that are flourishing. What are they doing? And to me, that's just such a refreshing take. Instead of studying like what's wrong with us, let's study the people that are doing it right and figure out what are they doing. And so many little tiny things that are free, simple to add to your life, and don't shake things up too much, that can make drastic changes in how you experience day to day.
Yeah. You work with high achieving women and leaders, right? You work with men as well, is that correct?
Yes, yes.
But mostly high achieving leaders, right?
Mhm.
What are the most common misconceptions that these high achieving individuals have about well being, about mindset, about performance that you help them reframe?
Love that. I would say one of the most common is the just go, go, go kind of mentality that we have. Like the harder we push, the more we do, the more. And I still fall into it, believe it or not. Like you were saying, all the accolades, all the degrees, I am like that, the squirrel when oh, that looks like a fun thing to pursue. I could pursue that and get my certificate in that, right? Like, then I was just,
Shiny
no.
object syndrome.
Yes, yes. And so I think high achievers are always looking to how they can continue to level up. And I'm not saying that leveling up and becoming better and all that is not valuable, but there comes a point where you need to realize that who you are is enough right now. And that if you work with that and take care of yourself holistically, wow, amazing things can still happen. And so I think that that's one of the biggest misconceptions is the next thing, let me check the next box. So there's that. And then one of my favorite lessons from my life coaching training is the concept of anti-fragile. And so there's fragile. We all know what fragile is. If we think of a box with that big sticker on it, we don't want to shake it. We don't want to drop it. And then there's the buzzword of resilience. We want to be resilient to stress, right? Which just means we take on stress and then we bounce back. And that's valuable. But what if we looked at that stress and we took it on and we got stronger? That's anti-fragile. So that's just the concept that life isn't meant to be easy, and that challenges are going to always be there. I mean, we were just talking about kids going back to college and all the challenges they face there, as what we have challenges as parents with them going back. So there's always something, but if we look at it as, hey, this is an opportunity for me to use my gifts and get stronger. And so
It's
bring on that challenge.
almost like building a muscle, right? When you're working out at the gym and I want that bicep to look toned, you do have to have some stress. But
Hmm.
at what point do you say, where is my cutoff point before I actually injure myself? I love that. I
Hmm.
absolutely love it.
Hmm.
So, how do you support your clients or the people, the leaders that you work with? How do you help them move from, I am just going to push, like, that's what there's some coaching that I have been a part of that's like, push through it, let's get through it, let's get through it. But you are an advocate for thriving with intention, right?
Hmm.
How do you help us get through that?
I think the first piece of it is having that time to sit down with somebody and talk about you. Like just having that moment where somebody is just there with you as an outside observer, looking in, being able to kind of challenge you with what you're saying, to encourage you, to help you question if there's beliefs that maybe aren't serving you anymore. So I think that's really the first piece. And I know that way back when, with my very first life coach, that was what was life changing for me. I'd never had somebody just want to spend an hour with me talking about me and what was going on in my world. And so I think that that right there, just taking that pause and having someone reflect, listen, ask good questions, challenge, encourage, be your accountability person is critical. And we see it in all the top athletes, in all the top executives, in all the top fields. They have coaches constantly, constantly. And so I think that right there is something so valuable. And I would recommend that is a great starting point for anybody that's feeling like, gosh, I've done it. I've climbed that mountain. I'm here. I'm at the top. Why don't I like it? Why am I not fulfilled? What's missing? What's missing?
Yeah,
And
yeah. I love the fact that you pointed out that we all need somebody that just sits across or side by side and says,
mhm,
I see you. I mean, how
mhm,
powerful is that? Just
mhm,
allowing you to be you. I don't need to over explain. I don't need to put on a mask. I don't need to, well, I mean, filter, yes, because, but I can just be me. And
mhm,
that is powerful where you have someone just, I'm here, I'm going to walk alongside you, I'm going to hold space for you.
mhm,
That's mind blowing for me.
mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just had a call with a client last night, and we were talking goals. And at the end of the call, I said, "What what was your highlight tonight? What did you find important about today's meeting?" And she said, I guess what I realize is that I do have goals. I came to this thinking I didn't, but I do. I don't bring them out. I don't think about them. I don't live them. I'm not focusing on pointing my North Star to them, and by having someone just walk through that and then be accountable, I think that that's just a beautiful thing. So, yeah, I think that we don't value that one-on-one enough in today's world. We're just so busy going. And it's just conversations like these that when we get done, we're just like, wow, that felt really good. And so I just encourage people to just slow down a little bit and find somebody to have these conversations with.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so powerful. I'm going to switch gears just a little bit, just because we were talking about how beautiful it is out where you live. And I
Hmm.
see pictures of you hiking, and I was like, oh, she must be on vacation. Well, she lives in her vacation. So I love that for you.
Hmm.
How does how you coach tie into that personal philosophy that you have for yourself? You know, the
Hmm.
self care, the hiking. And if I'm not mistaken, you are plant based. You eat plant based. Is that
Hmm.
correct? Plant based
Hmm.
cooking, all
Hmm.
the travel. I know you have an amazing trip coming up. What does the marriage of those two look like for you, personal and professional?
Hmm. I think that that is a beautiful way to put it, the marriage, because it does need to get along, even though they can be very different. And what I bring to my clients, I live. And that's uber important to me because we've all been there where we have somebody that we've hired, that we're invested in, and they are not living what they're telling you to. I mean, I remember in dental school, being shocked. One day we went outside, we went out of the building for lunch, right? Whoa. And we were shocked because the all the periodontal instructors were outside smoking.
Hmm.
And I was just like, wait a minute, they tell everybody not to smoke and here they are, so that is such a big piece of me, is that I'm my first client. I'm client zero. And if I'm not doing this, how can I inspire, encourage, support anybody else in doing this? So, and I get a lot of lessons when I'm out there hiking. I
Yeah.
mean, nature is such a great teacher.
Yes.
So,
Yes. I say you walk your talk, which you
mhm,
do 100%.
mhm.
What is one shift in mindset that you find yourself celebrating a lot with your clients who finally take that courageous step to step into their next chapter or whatever it is that has been holding them back? And they're like, I'm just going to do it. What is that shift that you celebrate most frequently?
Mm. I think the biggest shift with that is the moving from perfectionism, that perfectionistic mindset of it's got to be perfect before I take the step. It's got to be to, oh my gosh, just take the step and collect some data, adjust, and take another step. So I love celebrating with my clients, whether they win or learn.
There
And
is no lose.
right, there
Yes.
is no lose. It's win or learn, and learning is winning. So either or, you are winning. And there's a great, I bring this up a lot. There's a great study in a book called Art and Fear, where they give two groups of students, they're in a pottery class, and they give them the assignment. The first group says, you will get an A if you make 50 pounds of pottery. And then the second group, they tell them, you will get an A if you make the perfect pot. So what group had the most beautiful pots? The group that made 50 pounds, because they just kept iterating. They kept learning from their mistakes. They kept tweaking things. Whereas the group that had to make the perfect pot was too scared to make a mistake. And so it's just a beautiful lesson in, gosh, just go out there. I have a coach who tells me, like, we talk about little Laura or little Magna, our little selves, and that they're maybe scared, and that, hey, why don't we just try and see what it's like, hold their hand. Why don't we just try?
Yeah. Yep. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Progress over perfection. That's what I tell
Yes.
my clients. Take that baby step. There is, like you said, there's no losing. All we're doing is learning.
Hmm. Yeah, I wish I would have known that like way back when in dental school, right? Like making your first temporary or
Can when you look back, do you feel as silly as I do over the things we stressed out over? Oh my goodness.
I look back and think if I knew what I know now and could go back, wow, it would have been a different experience.
Exactly.
But right, I guess hindsight's 2020 for everyone.
It's what we do with it. And as long as we're learning, hey, we're
Yes.
growing.
Yes.
Laura, as we start to wrap up today's episode, where can our listeners find you?
Oh, well, I'm on LinkedIn, just Laura Schwindt. You can find me there. You can find me on Instagram, Dr. Laura Schwindt. And I have a website, lauraschwindt.net. So all those places have all my contact information, and I'd absolutely love anybody to reach out. I offer a complimentary impact chat, no strings attached for anyone that wants to.
Love it. We will post all of Laura's contact information in the show notes. So no need to scramble to write it down. And one last question, if I may. What do you most hope that our listeners take away today from your story, from your approach
Mhm.
to leading with soul?
Mm. I most hope that they take away that they absolutely have everything they need right now, that they are 100% perfect and worthy right now. They don't have to do anything. And in fact, maybe even just sitting in quiet silence and appreciating that for a few minutes a day is the best thing you can do for yourself.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for taking time out today for joining me and our listeners and for sharing your unique journey, for sharing your take, your insight on leadership, mindset, resilience, and anti-fragility. Is
Yeah.
that correct? Did I
That's
say that? I know
correct.
it's
That's
anti-fragile.
perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect.
I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you're doing for the leaders of today, for the coming leaders of tomorrow, and just the light you are in my world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and keep doing you. And I'm blessed to know you, and I can't wait to see where your journey leads. Yes. Thank you.